Welcome back, everybody. It is another night of VCS action, and we have the reigning champs going up against the possible new favourites for champs. It's Team Wales taking on GAM. My name is Carrix. With me is the ever lovely Yulwei. How are we feeling tonight? Oh, we're going straight in? Hey, we like starting thick and fast. No boring analysts. We just want fun. Apparently, you are not audible on stream your way. Thank you, chat, for pointing that out. Got to unmute yourself. But we have Tristana, Varus, LeBlanc, Nocturne removed. I can hear you. You're probably muted on OBS. Well, while we sort that out, I can cover. Callista is the final ban. Be interested to see where they go first pick here. Sparta, of course, has access to his ever faithful Cassante. I don't know if they can hear. I've been out of here the whole time.
Hopefully. Ah, okay, I see what the issue is. Okay, yeah, a little bit of stupidity, a little bit of OBS acting up, and combined they make for a muted Yulwei for no reason. So I'm back here, and it's finally Ash first pick. So we have entered the teams that actually research the patch, which is nice to see because I am sick of Alistair on patch 14.1. That should not happen. So Ash first pick is more what we see across the globe. It makes a lot more sense. And Lucian also makes a lot of sense. Nice. Yes. Lucian. Melio. This is what we see in the other leagues. These are the top two teams in the VCS. So it makes a lot of sense that they follow. Yeah. The global meta thinking, what other teams have discovered already. Wow, I love the spot lane. This is more my style of bot lane. And Udyr as well.
This is really good as well. Udyr is super strong in lane, really covering Sparta, obviously up against Kiaya, the terror of the top lane. I've heard that the the Rumble Udyr matchup is a massive knowledge check.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that as well. It's one of the very few matchups that Rumble can actually lose in the early game, as far as I know.
Yeah.
The champions are kind of the same, honestly. Like, I talked about this in the last game. In terms of laning phase, they're very similar in their patterns of trading. Just use your big AoE spell that has insane AP scaling and insane DPS and just run at them, and yeah, they lose. So both champs...
Yeah, we'll talk about what's for in-game. Sorry.
Good.
As we do go into that second ban phase, Akali taken away by GAM. Both teams still needing a mid laner.
Yeah, Nico. Yeah, look at these bans. This makes so much more sense. So now Azir and Corki spring to mind. Yay, Azir and Corki. What a surprise. So those two champions have been hugely successful in some of the leagues. Corki a little bit slow, of course, to come in online. Azir, honestly, too, after the changes. He's not as good in the early game anymore. He really needs his first item, so can't really rely on him to push and dominate the laning phase. Orianna we are seeing quite a bit as well across the globe, so this makes sense as well. So who's gonna chicken out in the Azir and Corki game? Are they going to ban one of the two and force the other onto the enemy team?
I feel like if you are Team Wales and you get the Azir half of that trade, you're really happy.
Maybe they ban Azir.
Some playmaking.
Both are open. So
I like this.
Hui also. I'm not entirely sure if we can see Hui. We don't have the perfect information there, but Hui definitely high priority champion over in the Eastern League, so we might see a Hui.
I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. I'm sure he's enabled.
He was not enabled for week 1 of LEC, so it might be the case that VCS also wants to give it a bit of time. This is much more interesting than the Azir. This could also flex into top lane potentially. And put the Rumble into jungle. I haven't seen a Rumble jungle in a long time, but it's definitely possible.
Could be Rumble mid. Rumble mid as well is always possible. Just play a really neutralizing lane, try and be the one that can roam to grubs and the like.
Not sure if you would blind pick...
What? Oh, so
Yeah,
Rel...
there he is.
Okay, so Hui definitely available.
Come on, give us a way. I haven't been able to cast away yet, and no. Come on. Boring. No way for us.
Interesting stuff, for sure. Just going Azir into the Yone seems like that's a bit of disrespect. They don't really care about Blaze's Yone.
I mean, it's fine in lane, right? It's not like a super counter matchup.
No, it's not, but I still feel like just going Rel Azir, I just feel like you don't care.
So this GAM draft is very interesting to me, especially thinking about their new players, because this shows a lot of respect for the other players that are not Kiaya and Levi on this team. They last picked Levi's Maokai here, and that is not a carry champion. I mean, you can carry with Maokai, obviously, but that is not the usual Levi is going to dominate the game and we're going to win no matter what the bot lane is, 2019 style. So this is much more focused on Pishiro, whatever.
Pyshiro, I believe.
Yeah, let's call him Pyshiro. Because, yeah, they have to dominate through the Lucian Melio angle here, and Levi, much more supportive, is going to try to knowledge gap his opposing jungler, and the Levi BeanJ matchup usually goes Levi's way, unfortunately. Let's see if BeanJ has learned a lesson or two. But yeah, a little bit of a different look from GAM. Maybe not what we expected coming into this season with Levi and Kiaya. So much more of the main carries than maybe last year.
I mean, I think it's interesting that now that we sort of have moved into possibly a new era for the VCS, possibly, where GAM seem to have downgraded their roster, Wales seem to have maintained what made them good. Is Wales now the favourite? Some would say yes, maybe even I would. Maybe I'll actually, make a stand.
Consensus for the most part, yeah.
But as we move into that, does BeanJ finally get that monkey off his back? Does he finally stop respecting Levi so much that he loses games towards it? I'd say an early blue buff invade means yes.
I mean, BeanJ has definitely won some games against Levi, has been competitive, but unfortunately every time it's come to the most important matches in the playoffs, he has fallen short. But of course, there are other people on this team that have gone all the way, especially Artemis and B, of course, both of those champions of the VCS in yesteryears. So it's BeanJ and Glory that really have to prove themselves. Sparta, maybe the newest face on the roster, and mostly just a solid. We know Artemis and B can win titles and are super solid, so it's Glory and BeanJ I really want to focus on this year, because if they perform up to their ceiling, this team should win the VCS. Just straight up. Looking at talent, looking at investment, looking at roster building, everything, it should be the favorite to win the VCS. So it's all about actual performance on the Rift.
Now, I do want to look at the top lane, because I think the early positioning is really important for this matchup. From what I've heard from the best Udyr in the world, I will dominate. If Udyr trades outside the wave and then just plants his feet between Rumble and the wave, he insta-wins the matchup.
It looks like he's playing very far up in the lane, so that might be what is happening there. If you look at his lane positioning, it's definitely like 60-70% towards the enemy turret, so quite far advanced for an early lane.
That said, Kiaya as well has passed the knowledge check of you don't run Ignite into the Udyr. You actually have to run the TP. But BeanJ, caught out on the Gromp here, has the smite to secure it, does use that. Pyshiro not able to scare him off enough. Now he's in a really bad position. Has to use his flash. BeanJ taking a turret
shot. What is happening?
There's the slam, but now Levi coming in. It's a fiesta. BeanJ just sacrificed. And it was all over a Gromp.
Oh, BeanJ, no! He falls to Levi first thing in the game. Oh, no.
That's a disaster.
And we cursed him.
Buff as well.
We don't
They
actually...
have to stop Levi entering.
Yeah, I think Levi, it's fine because it's so hard for Levi to actually close the gap here. I say that, but now they just walked back up to the... Oh my... What is Team Wade's doing?
What have we done? This is oh my word, you knew he was around. You can't do this. Artemis trying to find a way out. Will get into the alcove, but Levi's in range, locks him down. Paishiro getting a kill, and this is a horrendous blunder from Wales.
Can't keep getting away with it. It's crazy. Levi, new season, and it's still Levi's GAM. That's 2 kills for GAM very early on, and that's a kill to the Lucian into the Caitlyn Ashe lane. Very important, because he's gonna suffer in terms of CS, he's gonna suffer maybe even in terms of experience, but this should tide him over to a decent item spike later on in the game. I'm very interested to follow these 2 bot lanes and see if either of them is going to opt into double support items, because...
We need to look top lane. There's a biff going on. They're going low. Kiaya has had to burn his flash, traded for Sparta's Ghost.
Okay, so Levi is here. Can he make use of this position? BJ is here as well, so this could be a huge kerfuffle.
But Sparta, he's low. He doesn't have a huge amount of mana. They move in.
Nice Q.
Well played there by Levi, stopping the instant play from Sparta. Does use the Phoenix, goes down. Can BJ get anything back? He's just a rel on his own. I don't even know if he can get anything. He does get 1.
1-for-1 trade. Kills going over to top and jungle. Way better trade for GAM there. Getting a little bit of gold and, yeah, just utility on Kiaya. It's just going GAM's way so far, but at least BJ recovered there with good tracing and just following the movement of Levi on the map and equalizing that trade there. Hopefully he can do something with a kill. Now back to even in terms of his experience in gold curve compared to the enemy jungler. And BJ seems to be vying for another gank onto Kiaya, who doesn't have flash.
Yeah, this should be fairly simple. Kiaya, no real way out of this. The knockup does land from BJ, lock him down, and this stabilizes things
Very
for
nice.
Sparta. Picks up a huge wave. Very well done. We immediately go to the bot lane, though, where Artemis has met the business end of Levi. B taking a lot of damage as well. They are forced back.
That is really nice reading of the map and the situation in all the lanes from BJ. Recovered from the early blunder of invading, ill-advised into the enemy jungle, way under the second tower at level 3, and really made this play turn around the whole matchup in top lane, because if you look at all the minions, Sparta is going to have a huge experience advantage after getting this kill, and should be able to control this. Of course, not quite as big as a power spike on level 6, as the likes of any other champion, because he doesn't get an actual ultimate, but still, I think this Udyr is quite well off now for the start of this laning phase.
Yeah, he also just got he got a much better back timing, picking up that Null Magic Mantle
Double MR
and the Negatron Cloak. Yeah, I mean, Kiaya can't do anything now.
Yeah, on the other hand, Sparta is not really going to deal that much damage. I'm a little bit surprised not to see him compete for damage, because I don't know, most Udyrs I've seen, especially in solo queue, but maybe also in pro play, go for at least 1 AP item, with the Liandry's has so much synergy. But it seems like this Udyr is just going to be full tank, maybe even going into the Rukern to be just completely new.
I've heard Rukern is the sleeper OP for Udyr.
I mean, Rukern just looks completely crazy into AP, so it makes a lot of sense, especially
taking a lot.
Looks like the 2 marksmen are still dominating this lane. To no one's surprise, they have insane range, even against Milio range extension. But does BJ have the angle here? He does have smite. Right?
Yeah, I think he's just going to type. Yeah, he just steals it. Just rude. Just rude.
He was already a level ahead, so Levi is quite far behind. He can't really help his bot lane now, because that would completely starve him of any resources for himself. His bot lane is struggling mightily, so really, really good recovery from BJ after that horrible early game bot lane play, and from the bot lane as well. We have to praise Artemis and B as well. Yes, they blundered there with their positioning, but still, the just pure 2v2 looks pretty good.
And they've just reported a bug. They've pressed tab and gone, it says Levi has less CS than the other jungler. It's a bug. Can we fix that, please? Of course, we don't know what the issue is. I think it looked like a DC. Paishiro DC'd from the game before we transitioned out. So it's probably just a quick restart, bit of lag or something of the like.
There was
But,
one thing I
you
actually
wait.
spotted before we went into the caster desk screen. Taishiro, on his last back, did buy the support item. So the tech is
So
here.
they're doing
We
the
know
T1.
Molecule is involved. I'm not sure if he actually is still involved with GAM, but
No, I
whatever the
think they
case,
both.
I think he's
I think they both went to Vikings.
But they probably still follow his crafty advice over Twitter and all his nice insight knowledge in all the meticulous stuff there, because double support item seems to be on the rise everywhere. We saw it first appear in LCK. Actually, really surprised to not see it in a single game of LEC in the first week. They had a head start and they didn't figure it out, but in LCK over there, they played it almost every game from what I've seen.
Are you saying you're surprised that the LEC didn't innovate?
I mean, yeah, usually LEC innovates a lot, so you know.
Not good things.
Yeah, the double support item, maybe not something the players want to do. It's a little bit of ego involved there as well. Like a lot of ADC players are like, nah, I'm not gonna buy a support item. Come on. But yeah, it is very valuable. I played yesterday a game of double support item, and it felt very easy not to get the punishment because I think it has to do with the stacks not actually counting as CS because you get gold.
It's super simple. It's just ADC takes melees, support takes ranged, and you go 50-50 on cannons.
Okay.
There's no. I remember back in the day with Senna stacks, there was like a lot of like really weird maths. It was like you have to take 21 of every 33, that kind of crazy stuff. But with the support item, it's just me take range, you take melee. I take this cannon, you take the next one. It's really easy.
I think the reason this is so easy is because the stacks don't count as CS anymore, right? So if you execute a cannon minion, you don't actually get the cannon minion gold. So only your partner is gonna get the actual gold, and you're gonna get gold equivalent to the stack at your tier, so 20 or 28 gold. And that's probably why it doesn't. I'm not entirely sure. Like, could be lying, but I feel like that has to be the reason as to why it's so much easier now to do double support items, because right, every time the strategy has come up, and it has come up a few times over the last 5 years, they kind of immediately put in some countermeasures. First, the punishment.
I wonder, does there come a day where they add a summoner spell called like Support Flash that has a 30-second CD, so every support has to take it. But then it's also like Smite, where you can't buy the support item unless you have the support summoner spell.
Yeah, I mean, sounds like a very, very
that sounds
easy
like a
Band-Aid
riot.
solution. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the kind of solutions they like to go for. But we are back in game finally, so issue has been resolved, and we're back with a look at top lane where Sparta is not taking any damage.
Nope, he is invulnerable. Kiaya forced back against this Udyr. Sparta playing this one really well. I think that was something we really need to keep an eye on, but speaking of keeping an eye on it, we have a scuttle fight.
BJ's on top of it with the smite. Really nice. Once again, secures the smite there.
Did very, very well. That does give Wales bit of priority around the first set of grubs, but looks like it's gonna be a fight for them.
So the grubs have become definitely a focal point, but BJ is so low at the start of the fight. Sparta too.
Levi taking a lot. BJ, he's just gonna go in. One grub secured. Sparta low. They're trying to get out. There's a lovely.
This is horrible for Wales.
Get them out, but he's just gonna die. Wales are getting destroyed.
Yeah, they started the fight already half HP on 2 of their members and just bad positioning against level 6, Rumble, everything pointed GAM's way, and they still went for the fight. That is quite a bad overextension for the side of Wales, and they get punished heavily. Kills to GAM and the grubs to GAM as well. First big advantage of the game. They now have to confirm the 5 grub kills, because 3, yeah, it's nice, but it doesn't really advance the game state all that much. If you get 5 or 6, then suddenly that becomes a little bit of a, maybe not win condition, but definitely a new way of playing the game. Better split pushing power, and just the Baron finishing the game finishing with Baron is gonna be so much easier.
That's very true. Let's see if they can execute better around that one. It was just very disjointed. I would assume the comms were just fairly off from Wales. As VJ is hovering around this bottom side, they could try and fight back with a dragon.
Do they know? Oh, there's the ward.
They smell him. The stun, but no follow-up.
Good senses. And Levi is also here to cover. So this is very important on the new season, of course. Jungler always has to be careful around red side bot lane. Even with the 2-0 Lucian, it's not that secure. There's so much to see between the other 3 champions, so they have to make sure not to get dove too many times. And that was really nice coverage from both bot lane and Levi and behind them as well. So they should be safe for now. Dragon, the next big objective. It seems like GAM at the moment has better positioning in both mid lane and bot lane, so maybe Levi gonna sneakily start this dragon the second.
Maybe we'll try. As you said, the vision control very good for GAM at the moment. We do need to be careful of this Caitlyn. He's very strong. Needs to back. Artemis must be sitting on a huge amount of gold.
Yeah, the early attack speed boots are surprisingly, it really set you back in your build path, because they're quite expensive, right? 1,100 gold, so might not actually be on that much gold right now. It's more for safety and just, yes, but probably ill-advised to fight for Team Wales around this dragon with both of their ADCs. Oh, Paishiro.
Oh, engagers come in. B having to flash over the wall. Artemis has to flash out of the Maokai ult as well. GAM get 2 flashes for almost nothing.
They do get 2 flashes, but they lose positioning on bot lane, so they can't actually do the dragon. Dragon is going to be really, really far delayed in this game, so a little bit of a deprioritization of the bot lane objective makes Baron and the next grubs even more interesting to fight about, because you can kind of justify giving up the next dragon and just fighting heavily for the next grubs. So let's see how this develops. Interesting little early game there with no dragon for either side.
It really is just the 2 kills and the grubs separating these teams at the moment. Though, it must be said, we were talking about gold before. Backed and immediately picked up a noon quiver for Artemis, because he does have about a 20 CS lead at the moment.
Yep, very true. Now, you have to be careful with these CS leads, because of course with the execution they do not get counted as CS anymore, so the Lucian is probably even in CS, honestly, if you or roundabout even 15 stacks, maybe not quite, maybe it's more on like 85 if you or 83, but he has 2 kills under his belt, so this Lucian is still strong, and he's close to his voltaic cyclosword. One of the coolest names in the game for items, I feel like.
He's pretty cool.
And it's a very strong item on Lucian, especially with Milio and the extended range, because you get to proc that voltaic cyclosword super easily. No support item for the Caitlyn. I'm not sure why she's not following suit. But Artemis just wants to go traditional, just wants all the CS for himself.
Might be a sort of a spike timing thing. As BJ and Levi spot each other, the grubs are on the map. If GAM get 2 of these, they're very, very happy. They've started them up, and doesn't look like Wales are in a position to stop them.
BJ is still poking around here, but Kiai with much better priority in top lane. Oh, Levi oversteps, very low.
Takes a fair bit of damage. Maokai ult is used, but if he can just move in and just secure one more, they're already happy. This is already over before it's begun. Yone ult diving forward. Blaze is dealing a lot of damage. The Milio has fallen. BJ trying to get away from Blazers on the other side. Can't quite do it. They will go 1 for 1. Sparta now moving in on the backside. Does steal away 1 grub.
That's not enough, though.
He's going to pay with his life, and the 1 grub really doesn't matter. GAM are smashing it here.
GAM is so focused on these grubs. Artemis, in the meantime, just got a lot of gold for himself, which is nice as well, but a little bit of a split focus for Team Wales. If you want your ADC to just take the tower, maybe you should just take the free dragon instead of sacrificing kills to the enemy team. If you give up the grubs anyway, then just go for the dragon maybe. Instead, GAM got the dragon before this play even started, so... And
they get the herald as well.
Yeah, split focus for Team Wales. Really not decisive enough, and yeah, you have to praise GAM. Just played in a very consistent, very precise way, Nothing special in terms of mechanics or starting the fight, but just solid play all around, and they secure all the early objectives for themselves.
As well, this is a bit of a shocking early game here for Team Wales. They played the lanes quite well. Sort of whenever we talked about the mechanics in the lanes, it was somewhat Team Wales favoured. But the overall macro decisioning, and this is what GAM has always been better than the rest of the VCS is they're just in better places at better times.
Oh, definitely. Especially since 2019, they've started to change their style much more towards a controlled, slow, macro-focused team. And yeah, if you think about how the games went between Wales and GAM from VCS to Worlds, really, it was always Wales looking maybe a little bit more impressive, more explosive, more exciting, but in the end they always lost to GAM, so the trend is continuing for now.
And they move forward, and Artemis just gets exploded.
No flash,
all
really
well
nice
and
timing.
good to get gold put on him. He's got the Storm Razor, but it just doesn't matter.
That was a really nice timed flash there on Artemis. They knew he couldn't defend, so even the ultimate from B couldn't help him, and that's an easy kill. 3-0 now for Paishiro, the new ADC for GAM. ADCs on GAM are a story in themselves, and maybe the solution to the ADC problem is actually just to recruit an ADC that no one knows.
Honestly. Maybe not wrong. Blazers, Yone ulting away. Glory wants to get in range. Interesting play there, Blazers. Did have to use I say have to use a flash. He used it. But he gets out.
Could have just flashed after his ultimate to be safe, but...
No. Could have. He could have done a lot of things your way. As... Yaya and Sparta just having a bit of a fight. Sparta, I think, could have stood and fight, but he had no intel on where the rest of GAM was, so just backed off. He is just going to continue playing this supportive farming role.
Yeah, the game is slowed down. This is also definitely a GAM feature compared to other VCS teams. If you think about what happened in the last series, this is nothing like it, because GAM likes to eliminate the randomness in the games after they've secured a lead, which solid play is always advisable. Try to make the game as secure as possible. There's no need for you to do stupid, over-aggressive engages if you're already in the lead. Of course, Paishiro is definitely going to do this kind of stuff all the time now, because that is what Lucian, the modern way of playing Lucian is all about. Use the ultimate, pressure out the opponent, force them back, and buy some time for your team.
Wait, what's a rookin?
Don't ask me.
I just googled it, and the only result I got was one person saying, not a clue what a Koenig rookin is. We do have a bit of a catch on to Levi. Uses his ult to keep himself safe. Caitlyn ult blocked as well, but Team Wales now with a little bit of priority on the map, and Glory surfs in to clean up the Maokai.
More than half of the names of items are just to sound cool. I'm entirely convinced of that. Like, Voltaic Cyclosword? Come on.
I mean, Voltaic's a word. I can tell you what Voltaic is.
What does it mean? I know it's a word, but I've never encountered it before.
Voltaic is when you generate an electrical charge with a chemical.
The voltage, okay, yeah, makes...
yeah.
I see the
like, if you have like an acid that's like reacting with a metal and you use that to generate electricity, it's voltaic.
Makes sense to me. Okay, that's pretty cool. So this item gives him
it's
some
a sword
acid or
that's got like
yeah.
it means it's got like a battery in it. So
makes sense.
It's got like it's a sci-fi electric sword.
Okay. Actually, that's really cool. I like the item even more now.
Yeah.
I still hate the inconsistency between Voltaic Cyclosword and Hubris, but it is what it is.
Blazer's caught out. Does try and use that ult, but doesn't get away. That's another one for Glory.
Yaya might actually...
TP's in, drops down the ult, and gets himself a kill.
Well, that was more aggressive than we're used to from Yaya for the most time.
Yeah.
Most time he would play the situation safe, but he just sees the kill and instantly executes Bean J. That's a 1-for-1. Really unfortunate there for Team Wales. I like the play a lot. Just go back to Blazers and use his wasted flash from the last engage. just kill him there on the spot. But unfortunately, they also feed a kill to Kiaya, who's getting stronger and stronger now.
True. Also, I agree with you. Hubris. Go back to the drawing board. How do I hit someone with a hubris?
So the thing is, I like the name. Like, I think it's pretty cool. The problem is, I don't like that you can build Voltaic, Cyclosword, and Hubris in one build, and they're both kind of the same. Like, they both are in the same style of item. Like, they're both lethality items.
True.
I like if everything was Hubris and Opportunity, like the next item is Courage, and the next is, I don't know, yeah, something like that. That would be cool, but yeah, it's a bit too inconsistent for me, the naming scheme there.
The theming. Or it just should be someone's hubris. If it was like, I don't know, Greg's hubris, or in this case, BJ's hubris, as he stepped far too far up there and has been taken down.
Yeah, it feels like Yaya's just farming BJ now on the map, which
BJ is having
great.
a bit of a sprint. We need to be honest here. He's 1-4. He's having a sprint your way.
Yeah, and we see this more and more with Rel, I feel like, because people are getting better at playing against this champion with every day that goes on, because, I mean, to be honest, she is tanky, but she's also so insanely slow, so once she engages and it goes wrong, she just dies all the time now, and people have really started to figure this out and just punish over, like, bat engages from Rel players more and more. Today, I've already seen Rels die in situations where it's just one missed spell, and instantly she's in Poopy Pants form, she can't walk away, she dies.
Yeah. It's just fundamentally, that's what the champion does, unfortunately for BJ. Getting a real demonstration this game. As GAM sieging up the mid lane, they do have that grub bonus, so that tower is not long for its world.
Wow,
As Levi goes in super aggressively, Artemis finding a way out. Amazing that he didn't immediately die. BJ doing really well on the other side, but they don't quite have the damage. Now he needs to get away in that Poopy Pants form. On the other side, Glory falls, and GAM take the fight.
This is a stomp, Carrick. GAM is looking crispy clean with these calls, with these engages, just timing, macro, everything. They just look way better than Wales in game number 1.
Yeah, they're sort of just beating them up.
Levi so confident to just engage and then walk away. He knows everything. He did what he came for. He doesn't have to chase the enemy AD carry. Artemis is out of the fight. That's all he really wanted to do. And then he even gets an angle on the enemy mid laner, so he gets a kill for himself. Everything's going GAM's way. Now, Wales is not super far behind. That's only 3k gold lead, and Artemis is still in a decent position to maybe carry later on. But it's kind of starting to go out of hand for the side of Wales. They need to find some success in the next few minutes.
They really, really do. I'm honestly shocked how the gold lead is not too big as they throw an arrow into Levi, but he's too tanky. He's really not the target. And with Kiaya threatening a backside engage, they can't dive too far forward. This might get them prio over the dragon, though. GAM
has to be careful. Kiaya doesn't have ultimate. He actually realized that he didn't have ultimate a bit late there. He could have, if they collapsed on Kiaya, he would have probably just died there, but walked away just in time. And now his ultimate is off cooldown again, so now it's GAM time. Levi's trying to heal up.
Oh, and Artemis has just been caught and destroyed. Kiaya flashes away, does not get Shurima shuffled. Might go down as he has to go back in, but look at the damage he's going to do before he goes down. Just kills B. Elio in some trouble just on that Milio. Over the wall comes Levi, though, applying a lot of damage.
Where's Lori's damage?
Unable to do anything. He has no soldiers. And with the Yone coming in, he bears down on the Emperor. Doesn't quite kill him, but it just doesn't matter. Because here in the VCS, every minute is GAM time.
Incredible performance. It's 24 minutes in and GAM has really secured themselves a huge lead against the favorite in the VCS. I think GAM is going to disagree with that statement, but almost everyone predicted Wales to be the best team. And yeah, they look outmatched in almost every category here. Even ADC, where everyone would have said, yeah, that's the biggest advantage for Wales individually. Artemis over Paishura, of course, Artemis is the better ADC. But in game 1, that is not the case. Paishura, I think, still deathless and putting on not a carry performance per se, but a very, very solid one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Paishiro has had to do very much. I don't want to say he hasn't done much, but he hasn't had to do very much, which is a good position to be in. Artemis's positioning has been really shocking.
Yeah, dreadful. Have to say it like that. And yeah, Wales has never been as good as some of his older teams in terms of playing front-to-back team fighting. Like, if you think back to the Cerberus days, they had it down to a T. They knew how to play front-to-back team fighting. They were better at it than even GAM in 2021. I don't think Wales as a team, and this lineup in particular, has ever really gotten to that level. So definitely something to work on. 0-3-1 in this first game in the VCS this year. That's not the showing the MVP candidate from before wants to see.
Absolutely not. And unfortunately, game one, that might be a little bit too late to show it. Thankfully, we do have 2 more games. We play best of 3s in the VCS. You know, like a good region.
I mean, so far we are playing kind of best of 2s. Like, it wouldn't have made any difference to call this best of 2s because every single series so far
your way.
Gone to
We're
2
getting
games.
the 1v1. We're getting
Yes,
it.
please.
It's happening. Who do you play? Who do you play if you're Team Wales and GAM?
I don't know. Just Paishiro against Artemis? Just for a mental... Imagine if Paishiro wins against Artemis.
I think the problem is Artemis, he'll be playing a 1v1 and expect 4 people to be peeling for him.
Oh, I want to see Artemis Bane in a... Come on.
True. When do we get to the point where you go, like, find some of the old VCS guys that you can probably have on your roster for the price of a bag of chips and have, like, you call up police?
I mean, honestly...
And be like, bring back the Lucian.
Yeah, police. No, it's Pocket time. He won all the 1v1 tournaments.
Glory does get a bit of a catch here onto Blazers. On the other side, B being soloed out. He has absolutely no chance as Pytro takes him down. They don't even kill Blazers. Levi finds his way on to the backside. Not the best ult there from Blazers, but it's going to be good enough. BJ taking down Glory, going with him. BJ will eventually fall, I'm sure. Maybe not, actually. He actually gets away to his team. Shows what I know, but that's now Baron for GAM, and I think this one's in the books.
Yeah, and once again, just looking like a minor region team there, Wales. That's really the best characterization I can come up with for that play, because you could call it lazy, but it's a bit rude to say that. I mean, it is a bit lazy to not read the map, but I think it's just inexperience or just coaching not quite being on the level of some of the major region teams, because you should know that it's dangerous to walk up there. And the team was completely separated. They weren't even in position to fight because 2 of their members weren't even close to the rest. Now GAM might be overstepping a bit.
Away as Pyshiro? No, I don't think so. They're so far ahead. They don't actually have to play well at this point. They are just beating them with wallets. BJ gets his back interrupted. They're just going to walk this one down.
Dominant performance from GAM. Not what I expected to see, especially with this new roster. Like, even if you're hyped on this GAM roster for reasons, I don't know these players good enough to well enough to really get hyped about Pyshiro and Blazers mid lane. I'm not sure anyone is going to get hyped for that. But even if you're positive, I don't think anyone expected the first game to look like this, because everyone would have given them a little bit of time, a little bit of a wiggle room to get into form, especially compared to Wales, who didn't change a single player. So, very impressive so far from GAM.
Yeah, it's true. And maybe there's a little bit of nerves for Wales when you come in and you are suddenly expected to be good. You've got a lot of weight on your shoulders. Maybe they've just kind of buckled there. The game also got off to a terrible start. BJ shaken from minute 1, it seemed. But look, this game is not technically over, but I think we're thinking about game 2.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think the players are all thinking about game 2 as well. And yeah, most of the time Wales is able to make it competitive against GAM in series as well. They won a game at Worlds. They won games in the VCS, of course, as well. So we expect this to be a close 3-game series.
Rumble ult. Just burning them down. B immediately falls. BJ goes with him. We call that a professional FF.
The game's over. Like, there's nothing Wales can really do. The Caitlyn is too far behind. The Azir hasn't really come into any sort of threatening form yet. He went for a defensive item when his team is so far behind. I feel like that's a mistake. But even if he went for Rabadons, I don't think he could have really turned the game around. They just need so much more time to be competitive in DPS. So it's a 10k gold lead. It's a 12k gold lead already. So there's not much Wales can do at this point, and just super impressive first showing for GAM. Paishiro, I want to shout him out. Elio as well. We have I don't know, the opinion about Elio has changed over the years so many times. We were hyped for him in one year, then we were kind of disappointed in him the next. He got picked up, he got kicked again. I feel like Elio, maybe a little bit of a redemption story this year. If he can make it work on the Scum team, if he can be a good supporter, he's one of the better Enchanter players, so maybe it's his time to shine in an Enchanter meta.
It's true. It is a good time for him. Let's have a look at this replay. This really is just GAM showing that they're 10,000 gold ahead.
There's not much to talk about here. Elio, good flash to get away there, would have died, but look at the red carpet there. Doesn't even hit them for too long, but they're already half HP. Then the burn comes in. Level 17 Rumble. That will execute the enemy Ashe anytime.
It absolutely will. GAM playing this one out, collected, cool, calm. I don't blame them, but at the same time, we're just keen for game 2. What do we think Wales need to change? Is there something in the draft? I don't think this Caitlyn Ashe wet lane has worked out at all. But is that the champion's fault?
I don't think so. We see a lot of Ashe and even some Caitlyn.
What?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what it was? I actually know. I know what that was. Glory was like, "Can I push this up, or is there 3 people?"
Yeah, it was just a check. Yeah.
Yeah,
it looked a bit funny. He saw a ghost there, just too scared of Kiaya, who just cooked him in the last engagement. So,
speaking of Kiaya,
does he win this?
Yeah,
I mean, if Glory walks back and forth in the ultimate, then he definitely wins this.
I think he wins it regardless. All Kiaya has to do is stop the back, however, as the rest of GAM are sieging down the mid lane. It's actually going to be a Glory teleport to make sure he can try and participate in the last stand. Frankly, mate, I would have just kept pushing that wave.
Just get out of there. To be honest, if you look at the state of the game, I guess it's they don't have a soul yet, and nice flash from Kiaya to avoid dying there. Technically 3 items now on Artemis and 3 items on Glory, so maybe there's a sliver of hope, but let's see if they can make a stand under this turret. Definitely not under the turret, because the turret is gone, but maybe for the inhibitor.
It is. Teleport is coming in. Kiaya joining the play. 5v5 in the base. A good start here. Levi going low. Levi going down.
Blaze is very deep.
Massive Yone ult. Turning it back in. BJ falls. Only a 1-for-1, and Wales will hold on. Blaze is low. Not quite dead. I tell you why. Glory goes in, but he kills himself on the other side. Sparta can't get away. Lots of MR, but not enough. And now it's Artemis and B against the Titans.
Artemis played this fight really, really badly. Way too few auto attacks in there to threaten with his 3-item Caitlyn. He should be dealing some damage now. Of course, he's still behind the curve, but yeah, 3-item Caitlyn should be doing more than this. That was one of the worst Artemis games I've seen in a long while, and
that was really bad from Artemis.
And GAM.
Really good from GAM.
How good is GAM? They just a really impressive performance from this team. The how many time champion now? 7, 8? I lost count, honestly. GAM just wins all the time. The champion of the
main
VCS.
characters. They're the main characters. It's like when they pan across like the classroom of the VCS, they're the ones that have really well drawn hair. So you can tell that they're the only ones that actually matter in the story.
Yeah, they sit in the back right at the window. The protagonist seats.
But with that, we will go to a bit of a break. There's not a huge amount to talk about this game. GAM were just better. Can Wales bounce back in game 2, or will GAM continue their dominance of the league? Find out soon here on VCS English. Welcome back, everybody. GAM with a dominant game one. Now we ask the question, has this series reached its terminus, or do we finally see the 1v1? Everyone in chat, I don't care if you're actually a GAM fan, there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to go for Team Wales this game, because we want the 1v1 for side selection. We have to have it.
Need the Kiai on Artemis action, or whoever is going to step up to do the 1v1. And we need to see the people...
I just passed out for a second at hearing you say that.
We need to see someone recall in the Ring of Fire, just for the Highlight reel. I heard Gori
Oh.
did that over in the PCS because they have the same rule, and apparently they've reached the one-on-one stage a few times already. So it's time for us to catch up. We need that 1v1. I want to see the meta. I want to see what's going to happen.
Maybe that's why Artemis was on Caitlyn. He's been practicing.
He's practicing.
Caitlyn's a great 1v1.
That's very true. Yeah. But we are on to draft. Straight over to the draft. And GAM was on blue side, Team Wales on red side, so we swapped sides again. Lucian open. Will we see Paishuro go for Lucian first pick? That's my biggest question. Or do they, because Ashe is banned again. Not again. They eliminated the Ashe as a counter. I feel like Lucian first pick is quite likely here, looking at the bans. A lot of ADC focus.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Wales ban it. It was very strong game 1. If Artemis doesn't want to play it, I think it has to be banned here.
Yeah, and especially after the Aphelios nerfs, you can't really take away the melee all that easily, because his second best matchup, or pairing, was Aphelios Milio, but after Aphelios got hotfixed, not sure if you can Aphelios Milio first rotation to take away the Milio from the Lucian, because then they just put in an army, and it's still almost as good.
I think you could Varus.
Melia instead. Oh, that is such an interesting turn of events. So now they're kind of calling the bluff and saying, yeah, okay, you can try to go take away the Melio if we first pick Lucian, but you can't do anything if we first pick the Melio. So are you going to take the Lucian away now, or are we still gonna get the Lucian Melio combo anyway? I really like this change. That is such smart drafting.
I hate picking Nautilus here though.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Okay, trying to challenge the Lucian. Yeah, interesting approach. So, the problem here with the Nautilus is, if you lose the if you lose the trade, you die. If you win the trade, though, sometimes the enemy dies. So it's a feast of famine champion. I'm not entirely sure if I agree with this choice after Paishuro and Elio's performance in game 1, but it is what we know B for. It's a lot of engage, good sense in the laning phase when to go for stuff as well, so it makes sense. Feels a bit outdated to me, the Nautilus Pro.
Yeah, I'm particularly picking it where it's been picked. It's not going to be... It's not really needed to do it there. Akali the hover.
Call Marby if this goes through. Lori on Akali on this patch.
Akali. Woohoo! Okay,
finally.
Exciting. Blind as well.
Yeah, I think Akali can blind pretty easily. So I think they Tristana's already banned. So they prepared for the Akali pick really early on with the Tristana first rotation ban, because that's one of the champs you really like to see into the Akali early on. Udyr banned, even though Kiaya had a good handle on the matchup, they want to make it easier for him. So they can't... Cassandra might be an option for Sparta here. Pretty decent Cassandra player. Not an easy matchup in laning phase, but...
You just get cooked.
You do, but you can just go Rukern and then chill. So it's rough for 10 minutes, and then afterwards you have 85,000 magic resistance, and you're fine.
So that's before the Rookers, right? That's just the components.
Yeah, true. But that is throwing down the gauntlet. That is such a big challenge. It could
Team Wales is not going quietly into the
wait.
They've just picked a Carly Jax.
Yeah, but the Jax could go into the jungle. We have seen jungle Jax before in the LEC. True. This could be a ruse. This could be an elaborate setup to get better jungle top lane matchup here when they show the rest of the team. They could even put the Akali into top lane. We've seen some Akali top as well, mostly into better matchups, but if you find a good counter pick for mid lane into... Well, not sure if there is a decent counter pick here. Poppy went through.
Poppy goes kind of hard.
Yeah, Poppy always goes kind of hard. And this one is much more BJ style. I like this as well.
Yeah, I think I like the Zen. It's just a BJ champion. It gives him a bit of early power. Yeah, I like the Zen.
Sejuani would have actually been an interesting one here with all the melee power, but of course, very slow to scale. So Jhin much stronger early game skirmishing. I am very concerned looking at this and thinking about the last game. Kiaya popped off. If Kiaya has a similarly good game, all the enemy champions are going to run onto that red carpet and gonna get cooked. And he's gonna have 40k damage this game. So I feel like Kiaya is set up here to have an back-to-back MVP performance on day one of their VCS campaign.
Yeah, I think the Azir as well. I think you've sort of got two levers for GAM. If they get off to a good start, they pull the Kiaya lever and he carries the game. If they get off to, like, not the best start, they pull the Azir lever and he can deny a lot of the engage. Like, the Jax jumps in, just wall him out. I feel like GAM has set themselves up a very flexible teamfight draft.
It definitely feels like they have won the draft here, especially when you think about most likely scenario. There are certainly scenarios out there where Whale's composition just snowballs out of control, right? There's Jax, there's Akali, there's Din Zhao. All those champions can go crazy. We've all played some games where the Akali just finishes her first item and then just starts one-shotting everyone. And that can certainly happen with the state some of the items are in. But yeah, I feel like I definitely agree with you. In almost all scenarios, it's easier and more consistent to play GAM's team.
That said, Xin Zhao actually does have a fair bit of agency in the start of fights. He can deny the Lee Sin engage quite well. He can deny Shurima shuffles. So it's not all doom and gloom for Wales.
Oh, for sure.
Plus, Sparta can get some fishing going if he's clever. Could have a gold lead already.
Yeah, the 1 gold might be the thing that helps him in the Kiaya matchup this time.
If you do it 100 times, you get 3 gold.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you get the goldfish.
Nice. I didn't know that. What absolutely freaking useless knowledge. Well played.
That's my thing, your way. That's my whole thing.
How does Angler Jax fit into the law of Jax?
I don't know, he just wants to fish, man. It's the average male, he just wants to fish.
Fishing seems so boring to me.
Nah, fishing's great. You get drunk with the boys, reel some fish in. That's what life's all about.
Right.
Anyway, League of Legends.
B is looking for something here. He has to be careful, but they want to punish level 2. Paishu lost a lot of HP in the early trade. Not great, but he will have some sustain behind himself when Elio hits level 2. Always a debate if you go level 2 for the Q skill or for the W, just for more range and just ranged poke, or if you want to be able to counter engage on the Emilio. I mean, they already tanked a hook, so he's probably going to go aggressive and skill the W here. I would also top off his ADC a bit more. Levi is here. Can we make something happen?
This is an interesting play. Needs to be very careful around the vision here. But you know B wants to throw a hook. He's looking at Elio.
Elio's making it a bit too obvious.
This is so obvious.
He did not sell this well. Nah, Elio, you have to work on your acting skills. That was
that was not an Oscar performance.
No. Okay, nice try, I guess. But it also doesn't really take too much time away from Levi. He wanted to reset after clearing his jungle top to bottom anyway, so he's going to go into the top side now and continue the 3 camps over there. He is behind Beanjay though, so Beanjay might look for level 4 clash in the river. Let's see how Beanjay and Levi want to fight about these first 2 crabs. It looks like Team Wales actually in decent position to try to contest both sides of the matchups, with both top and bot lane, and even mid lane in control of the wave right now.
Yeah, Sparta has gotten the reset off as well. Kiaya hasn't yet, has gone Ignite this game as well. Obviously the matchup allows him to do so where the Udyr really doesn't. So we could potentially get a bit of a collapse onto the top scuttle, but it kind of looks like both teams are just gonna handshake, take one each, and just keep farming up.
Wait a second. Does Sparta have this rune where you get a skill point? Looks like it, right? There's
Maybe,
the hook.
Yeah. Doesn't. Not much happens. Elio able to kickball B so he can't go in. They're just alright.
Yeah, this matchup is not going to get much better for the Nautilus. Level 6 is an opportunity to maybe burst someone down, but then you also have to deal with Milio ultimate, so quite a good counter into the Varus CC. There should be more consistent damage on the side of Lucian Milio, so I really feel like Wales has to play it cautiously. Can't try to go for too many 2v2 kills, and especially B. If he grabs the level 6 Milio Lucian and doesn't really have anything to get out of there, they could just focus him down and ignore Artemis on the backside.
Possible. Levi in position for the grubs. Gonna start.
I love how they.
BJ.
The design of these things is so fun.
They're such goofy little
They're
guys.
so
right?
funny.
BJ doesn't want to go over the wall. One has been secured. BJ's just going to back off. So Wales will not be getting to the 5 this game.
It's really hard for Wales to do something here because Kiaya is in full control of top lane. So first 3 once again secured for GAM. They had 5 or 6 even? No, 5 last game. So
5. Sparta stole 1.
Exactly. Let's see how Wales tries to counteract that again. I think with Kiaya in such a strong position in the top lane, still has Flash, still has Ignite. Can't really see Wales doing much about the next scrubs.
It's going to be fairly hard. Sparta might have his next tonic for it. He'll have the Elixir of Force, which does make him pretty strong. You get, it's adaptive, so Jax at that point's almost still... He'll be getting AD regardless. He gets like 12 AD.
Not too bad. Yeah. I'm really interested to see this new rune because on a champ like Jax, where all 3 skills are quite good, it makes a lot of sense to try to put another just another upgrade on E probably, right? You max W and then you go into E for longer stun time for better damage on that skill as well. So yeah. I can see why you would want to have another skill point early on.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. Also, just a little bit of extra power in the lane up against Rumble potentially is keeping him quite close. Kiaya unable to really grow a CS lead. Who knows how much of that is just due to the matchup and how much it is the tonic.
Getting a bit sleepy here. Nothing has happened. VCS, hello?
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's late at night here in Australia.
Yeah, we finished before the Australian Open today, so it's a good day for VCS when that happens. Just means we have a lot of games, but so far only 3 games played. Wales really needs to come back here to... it's not just to show us the 1v1. It's also just to not have GAM start the year off with such a huge confidence advantage, right? Wales is supposed to be the one taking over the reins. Losing 0-2 in the first series of the year, just not a very good sign. So I feel like they really have to put in a better performance this game. Maybe it starts here in the top lane.
Kiaya has dropped down the ult. Grandmaster's Mind has been used as well. B&J is here. Kiaya, I don't think he can get out, but he can look for a 1-for-1. He does a hell of a lot of damage, but it's not quite enough. And Team Wales will get that first blood.
Okay, turning it around. This time around, the MVP can't do his magic early on, so a little bit of an advantage for B&J and Sparta, and they both still have their flashes available. So does Kiaya, to be fair, but he burned his ultimate, he burned his ignite, so not quite available for the respawn of the grabs, I think. Those should be coming up in 1 or 2 minutes, so nice little step on the way to deny GAM their huge snowball potential this game around.
Yeah, we just have to see how they execute. Not having access to that equalizer would be huge. Not that we really know when the fight will break out. It's not the longest cooldown in the world, that equalizer.
Yeah, very true. Halfway off cooldown now. So about half a minute, maybe 40 seconds away. That should be in time for the fight, for the grabs. Let's see what the bot lanes are going to have to say about this big objective spawning over on the top side. Elio would really like to be level 6 because you can deny so much of the engage. You can play so much more aggressively if your support has an AoE cleanse. So can they somehow manage to get him over to this level 6 mark before the big fight starts? Seems like, so far, both teams are just playing it cool, acting like this is not a big deal. Yeah, just some grubs. Nothing to worry about.
BJ, he's a level up on Levi, should be able to scare him off. I want to try and make a move onto Kiaya. It's dangerous. Just getting vision for now.
And this is getting more and more tense here. Both mid laners walking up. Look at the bot lanes, they're moving, and Elio has hit level 6. So everyone is level 6, everyone has their ultimates. Here it comes.
Levi uses the kick, but BJ just follows him in anyway. Now he's in the wrong side of town. BJ just did not need to go that aggressive, and he's going to be burnt to death, living...
No, he missed!
Away the rumble ult. He just has to press B, though. He is going to die. And he just went too aggressive. Glory has gone low as well. Hasn't assassinated anyone. Team Wales mis-executing again.
Can they actually secure the grubs, though? It looks like GAM's a bit hesitant going back to the topside objective because so much time has been invested by everyone. And Wales trying to pounce.
Oh, that's a lovely catch. They turn it around, take down Elio, traded for B. But they're going to get 2 more. And Wales bounce straight back.
Beautiful punish. Unfortunately, Kiaya is once again
Glory,
the hero.
I saw that.
What did you do?
He was giving him a little teabag. Just giving him a bit of a spam dance.
But yeah, huge turnaround for Wales. They are in control of the map now, and everyone is just going to go back to those grubs again because they are still just as important. But now no one has any summoner spells remaining apart from the 2 AD carries and Elio's flash, I guess. But this should be even more volatile now. But it looks like first look at the next grub spawn is Levi's.
Yeah, it does look like with the Team Wales deploying to the other side of the map, that should be GAM able to get those 2 really critical grubs away before Wales can really respond.
There's one. One more.
There's one.
They can't... One more. They don't have smite for the 5th one, so they want to delay here. Want to wait for the smite cooldown to come again, but BJ instantly starts off the other 2. Will GAM do anything about this? Doesn't look like it. They're too scared about the mid lane position from both of Wales's bot laners. So in the end, 4-2 in terms of grubs. Beautiful engage here. Really nicely coordinated between the Wales players. Glory is so hard to pin down because of his invisibility, and then Artemis hits the perfect ultimate too. Meanwhile, a Rumble solo kill, always the most exciting stuff. Presses Q, and then the enemy dies.
Yep. Maybe well played. Knew his angles. Got in.
Rumble is...
He's a champion.
He's a champion, yeah. It requires a lot of skill, especially if you haven't played Rumble before. Just not turning your model around takes a lot of time to get used to. You can't stutter step like this if you use Rumble Q.
Much cope. So much cope.
I mean,
as Kiaya is going to have to cope with the camp, as BJ has once again come to the top lane and Sparta gets himself a kill.
That's a big shutdown. Sparta is getting stronger. Looking more and more likely. We might finally be going to a 3rd map.
I wouldn't get ahead of myself quite yet, your way. It is only about the 1 point. Let's call it 2k gold lead. Let's be generous. Little bit of extra 2 damage on the towers is doing its work, but obviously no one hit that 5 grub checkpoint.
This is now quite a big advantage for Sparta. Maybe not individually, but just looking at the scaling and the late game potential. Unfortunately, you would really like to have Jax looking at late game split pushing with 5 grubs, because then it gets to be a win condition in itself. But he still is going to be quite a menace in team fights and even just late game pressuring the sides, trying to push down inhibitors. This is a little bit of an old school team composition, right? If you look at mid and top lane, Akali, Jax, double side lane, 1-3-1, almost kind of outdated the last few years, but it might be back this season.
Old reliable, mate. You can always go back to it. And with Sparta in a good position, has that Titanic Hydra, has the extra skill point as well from the triple tonic.
What did he go for? He has 5-4. Yeah, so you put extra investment into his E, easy kill.
And that's another kill. Kiaya must be fuming. He is getting camped.
A little bit sloppy, a little bit, I think Kiaya is maybe feeling himself a little bit too much after game number 1 and his MVP performance, because this game has been just riddled with a lot of overextension. Yeah, but it's only second Rift Herald. Like, it's the Rift Herald, but it's essentially just the second Rift Herald from last season, so do you really care? Apparently they do. There's a teleport.
Yeah, I don't think they care about the Herald. I think they just see an opportunity for a big fight and potentially pick up a few kills. Glory set up to do a lot. Got lovely stuff there, denying the Glory engage.
Man, Elio has been really good on this champion. I'm impressed. I mean, he has always been really strong back in the Lisa days on the Enchanter supports. Underappreciated, of course, in the VCS, but this new champion, it might be Elio's time to shine and show everyone that you can actually play Enchanters in the VCS.
Maybe. That was pretty fantastic. B&J has landed the W onto Blazers, but there's an Azir turret to worry about. Glory, again, getting denied by the football. Sparta is, he's got some men following him, but he is okay. He's very slippery on the Jacks, and GAM do manage to extricate themselves.
So, what is our read on Jax builds? Because they seem to be different every game I watch in this season. I'm really confused. What is happening with Jax builds?
Jax can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, it seems like it.
From what I hear, the only thing he's not allowed to do is be within 100 feet of a school. It's alright. We're moving on swiftly. Yeah. As it is the Hydra. It's a side lane build. It makes sense.
Yeah. No Trinity this time. No Sundra either. Both could still come in. Obviously, you can just combine items freely now. Unless you're an ADC. I was so hyped to finally build both Navori and IE. Then for some reason it's not possible. They just put an artificial thing on there, so you can't do it. So, very unfair. All the other people get to build their items together.
Glory. Smoke's already been used. Blazers just smacking him into the wall. The kick from Levi. He tries to outplay, but can't do it well enough. He does go down.
The traded tower on the other side, though. This time, Kiaya actually ran away from the dive. He doesn't want to die again on the tower. Might still be looking at that fate now that 3 people are here to kill him, but he's playing it very cautiously, waiting for backup. Oh, he wants to defend the tower, though.
Yeah, with the reinforcements coming in, they drop down the equalizer as well. They want to try and get onto Sparta or B. I think B will be a sacrifice. Blazers coming in as well. Sparta has given them the slip. They just didn't realize he was on the right side of that wall, and he's now going to get to his tower. I think he dies anyway. No, with a ward hop, he's out.
Blazers got really confused there. Just ran the wrong way.
Yeah, like, crazy, right? They should have been able to see.
Should have definitely been able to deduce where the enemy top laner went, but it doesn't really matter too much. It's still a winning play for GAM. They can't finish the tower, it looks like. Nice TP from Sparta. Sparta is really putting a damper on Blaze's hopes here. First denies his kill, and then his individual tower gold as well, so Blazes is gonna have a bone to pick with this enemy Jax here. What happened to Levi?
Did Levi do?
Yay, we are moving swiftly on. Yeah, this game is a little bit more silly than the first one. GAM with a super solid performance in game number 1. Not so much in game number 2. They are dancing to the tunes that T-Wales was already playing in game 1. It's a little bit more of the old Fiesta style, but Team Wales seems to be winning on this style, so you should never go to the enemy team's preferred play style if you want to win. It looks like GAM has to slow down the game, maybe play a little bit more cautiously.
A lot of the hopes are in Blazers now. He is the scaling option. Lucian as well, obviously, is actually a scaling pick when you've got Milio. That extra range does amazing things for the champion. GAM looking for their second dragon as well. They will secure it, and a lovely Azir ult combined with the Rumble ult will just immediately destroy two members of Team Wales as BJ follows them down. Can the last three actually get anything done? 5v3, but with a health bar advantage. Sparta going in with Glory. Glory just gets absolutely destroyed.
Look at Sparta,
it's a lot of stuns, but I don't know how much it matters because look at what's going on, and Fnatic has joined the rift as we get a pause.
Yeah, that really feels like a tilt pause. The last member goes down, instant pause. Yep, GAM, you lost the team fight. You can admit to losing a team fight.
It was Wales that lost the team fight. Wales lost it.
Oh, really?
GAM just destroyed
yeah,
them.
right. I forgot about the people on the screen. Yeah, you're right. Of course, it's the other side around. So GAM with a huge comeback fight. There were a lot of people who had really good ideas about the fight, like the Blazers, not Blazers, of course. Glory thought about this amazing flank angle, but in actuality, it was way too far away, and GAM just abused his positioning there because they just started the fight, and there was nothing Blazers could. Why am I saying Blazers? I'm sorry, Glory could do to catch up in time, and this team was already eliminated, completely decimated by the enemy team when he arrived, and then beautiful awareness from Levi, who redeemed his struggles from earlier and just kicked him into his team. He was also just shut down instantly. He couldn't even get into his little shroud there. So suddenly, GAM fights back and is on track to the 2-0 again, unfortunately.
We wanted the 1v1. That's not Team Wales bias, it's 1v1 desire. Just to be clear. I don't know how much more there is to say because so much of this game has been fairly easy to talk about. It's just been Wales like slowly pushing everything in, having a couple of really decisive fights, GAM making some mistakes, and then VCS happened.
Yeah. We had your favorite feature of the VCS on the game before that, where we just got into the replay spiral, where one replay and then there was another kill, and then we had to replay this kill, and then there was another kill in the replay, and so on. We went on for like 5 solid minutes. And we're not quite as crazy as series number 1 yet. Maybe we'll still get there because it's getting more and more desperate for Wales. I feel like that might be the last resort.
I don't know if it's desperate for Wales yet. I think that brings GAM back into the game. This was like a game that was like, I think, fairly solidly in Wales' hands.
Oh, for sure.
They've definitely dropped it, but I don't think it's now solidly in GAM's hands.
But it feels like it on the Rift. They can't see the gold, right? So it's that's a huge teamfight loss after you felt like the game was going much better than game 1. Probably, as a Wales player, you're probably aware that your top lane is doing much better. Kiaya is not as far ahead. Your ADC is in a much better position this game, and then suddenly you lose a fight like that. It's not gonna feel great, especially with all the expectations on their backs, right? They are the chosen ones. They were supposed to overcome this GAM demon, and of course, they still have more than enough time to do that in the month to follow, but maybe not today. So. Momentum certainly on GAM's side.
If we think that GAM is like the VCS is an anime, the first time they fight, the good guy never wins.
True.
Like Goku doesn't beat Frieza the first time they fight. He's got to lose first, and then he powers up.
How many times does BJ have to lose? How many times can he tell himself? I'm the
BJ is Yamcha. He's Yamcha in this situation. Is this the first time I'm making anime references and you're not?
Yeah, unfortunately,
it's just a bit of a new day for this.
And this time I can't follow because I never watched that. So, unfortunate.
Dragon Ball's great.
We never see eye to eye on this.
We really never do. But back to sensibility. I think one thing I really want to applaud on the side of GAM is I think Paisha has had fantastic positioning. Obviously, this game nowhere near as dominant as Game 1. Artemis massively underperformed in Game 1. There's no other way to put it. He massively underperformed. Has bounced back in Game 2, but Paisha, formerly Ya, our most hyped player of all time. He's been playing really, really well. This is a guy that didn't have, aside from us loving his name, not too many expectations towards him. It's like, yeah, he's going to be okay. He's probably not going to blow out, rock our socks. But so far, really has. His positioning's been fantastic.
I'd be careful with that. I was saying stuff like that. Make sure that Rebel is not aware when you say something like that, because he might come to your house and execute. He hears the slander for Ya.
But it does look like we're back in game your way.
Yes, we are. And here we have the replay instantly. That is, of course, an amazing engage from Blazers. Just hits everyone, and they eliminate Artemis at the start of the fight. Really unfortunate series so far from Artemis. Bad performance Game 1, then Game 2. He's playing pretty well so far, but it's just, he's a sitting duck, right? If you get engaged on as Varus, and Azir is on top of you, there's not much you can do. So that's a 5-for-1 trade that will swing the game in GAM's favor. And as you can see, 2 dragons to their name, now also with a gold lead and the kill lead. They will feel great about themselves now.
They really should, as they should be able to push out their vision line, be a lot more confident as they move around. Elio as well on this Milio. That's a bit confusing. Elio Milio does give them that added level of safety, that added poke as Blazers again cutthroat.
That was more on Artemis than the one before, but this opens up the Baron.
And every game I've cast so far, we've had the airport Baron. Is League telling me something?
It seems to be a little bit more common.
Am I from North America? Good kick. BJ can't even go for the steal, and Baron secured. Glory!
Yeah, I forgot about it. Carly being able to do that. Yeah, she can just jump out again if she hits her own smoke. I never understood how to do that, actually. But it's something you can do as a Carly.
Yeah, I think she needs that. That's like a completely reasonable thing for that champion to have.
But yeah, GAM, now 22 minutes in, the game was super even. They were even behind Wales for the most part, and suddenly the game just looks like GAM is in full control, right? They have Baron, they have 2 dragons, they're hat and gold, they're hat and items, they have a better map state, they have good side lanes. How can Team Wales come back into this game? We need to see some heroic plays from especially Glory, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Glory is still the X factor. I don't know if we want to call it coming back. It's a 2k gold lead, as you said, but at this stage of the game, that is fairly minor. And we do still have some good scaling options for Team Wales. Varus will continue getting stronger. Sparta is only going to get stronger in the side lanes as Paisha rips the culling as they want to escort this wave forward.
Is that opportunity for Artemis? Or is that a different item? I still am not ready to call the items on site, but I believe that is opportunity. So hopefully it can create its namesake for himself. He needs to land a really good ultimate and then follow it up with a good burst, but it's really hard to play this champion into Milio. I'm not sure if I agree with Varus into Milio after seeing this game. It just seems like it eliminates so much of what Varus is good at early on in the game.
Wales tries to make something happen.
Blazers
on the side. He's in a lot of trouble. Glory able to solo him out, but no, can't actually convert. And now it's Glory that's in trouble. Levi following him forward. Has been challenged by the Xin Zhao moves forward. Lovely little proto belt to dodge the Sonic Wave. And everyone
it's just
lives.
Support div, not so much support player div, just support champion div. Think about what Nautilus has done this game. And then think about how many times Milio has saved people. There was a huge shield, there was a huge shield. The constant Q denies on Glory's engages. It's just a completely different story. I feel like this Milio first pick is just carrying the whole game for them.
Yeah, it seems Vilio might just need to be banned. I think that might just need to be a permaban.
Really good champion. I love the design too. Bean J doesn't have an ultimate this time. He's in trouble.
Yeah, has to get away. The rest of GAM moving forward. Sonic Wave doesn't quite land, so Wales are able to evacuate.
Cute little sidestep there from Sparta. Very nicely done, and they do get away with their lives here. That could have been the end of the game if they get 2 kills.
They just surrender. Here. They surrender mid lane. This is going to be an in-him, surely.
They do have to. I believe they couldn't have walked back into the mid lane there. So GAM really amping up the pressure, just playing so aggressively, always positioning in a way that the enemy team feels compelled to maybe try something, but then they have the perfect counter engage. We do see double side lane attack now from the very strong split pushers of Wales. And Sparta on the Jax will get 1 tower for himself, 700 gold to his name. Maybe that can change something about this game.
Yeah, what an interesting situation we're in, where Sparta is the Wales' hope. I feel like he is basically their win condition at this point, despite traditionally being considered maybe their weak point.
Sure. I mean, Sparta is definitely the quietest player on the roster. Maybe not the weak point in per se, but definitely the least exciting name on the roster, most people would say. But he is a solid player. We've seen him many, many times in the VCS, and let's see if he can amp his authority on this series. If he wins against Kiaya in this series as the main carry in Game 2, that could really put his name out there.
100%. I mean, anyone that can beat Kiaya, you should immediately be looking at them, because Kiaya's real good.
Yep.
As it is still only 3k gold. At 26 minutes, it's not a lethal blow.
I have to talk about itemization again, because it's just so interesting to observe what's going on in this new season, and we have a little bit of a lull anyway. That's a second item Morello's for Melio. And it's weird in a few ways, but then also makes sense in some others, because it's a very cheap item, very good stats on this item. But then again, Melio only has 1 spell that deals damage. So it's a pure Q activation.
Does he get to... Does it work with the damage he applies?
Nope.
From his E? No, it doesn't. Okay.
Maybe with his passive, that could be.
Ooh, Glory in a lot of trouble. He is a Kali. He's slippery, but I don't know if he's slippery enough to get away from the Sonic Wave. And taken down. He is dead. And he will be dead when Baron spawns.
1-for-1 trade should be fine. Wales are like this, instantly running down mid lane, trying to get another tower for themselves. So very good counterplay. Still playing a very quick game. Just swift movement. That's one of the features between good teams. It just feels like the map is being played much, much faster than when two not so great teams play against each other. Just instant punish on the other side of the map, and Wales put themselves back into a winnable position, I'd argue. They're still the underdogs when it comes to playing out the game, but we saw Glory does have the damage to maybe cut through some of the more squishy targets on the other side. So there's hope.
I think the one thing that's going to really hurt is I don't think Artemis does anything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's an ultimate bot, but the ult just gets countered by Melio. I don't think his build... not that it's a bad build, I just think up against what he's up against, I don't think he gets a huge amount of value from it.
Very burst focused for now, and because against Melio, the poke is kind of useless, because Melio can just heal it off and just shield against the poke anyway, so not the greatest in terms of preparing the fight with a little bit of poke. Maybe he lands some good Qs and can still make that happen, but it's more about ult into Q bursts. Now he bought the Serpent's Fang. I really like this itemization because, of course, Melio shields have been getting out of hand, and there's also quite a bit of shielding coming in from Kiaya and Levi, and even Blazes, so very high value item there on the Serpent's Fang. He is not the main carry in terms of damage, that is for sure. He's more on the utility secondary carry here on the Varus. But they do have a lot of damage on the solo lanes, so if he can cut through all the shields with the Serpent's Fang, then maybe that's the opportunity for Glory when he hits level 16 to finally dominate a team fight.
Maybe, but I do think the ladder has many rungs. See how many they can climb. Sparta applying huge amounts of pressure constantly, just splitting the bot lane, forcing members of GAM away from Baron. And there's no one that can really 1v1 him. The Azir, I mean, I think that kind of comes down to a little bit of hands. But all the time that Sparta can maintain this TP advantage is worth its weight in gold for Wales.
Sure. Building... I have no idea what he's building. Tunneler? He has a tunneler right now. I'm not entirely sure what that is gonna build into.
Making tunnels.
Does it build into any good split push items? Probably, right? I would really like to see Sparta double down on the side laning, because he's gonna... A lot of champions are going to have trouble trying to respond to the split pushing pressure. Look at the Azir build too. Blaze is building for team fights, straight up with the Crypt Bloom, so that's not the greatest item in the 1v1 situation either. This could really be the Sparta breakout game. If he manages to dominate the side lanes and give his team the win condition through his split pushing, this is make or break for his career.
Dragon is spawning. This would, of course, be Soul for GAM if they secure it, but right now it is Wales with full positioning, and the Dragon has actually already been taken. Wales defuse that bomb.
Buys them more time. One more item on Sparta, one more item on Glory, a few more items on him as well. Glory finally hits level 16, so the execution power on the second part of Ultimate is really dangerous now, combined with the extra burst from all his active items.
And this pit is so scary against Rumble.
Oh man. It is going down so quickly. Beanjay is not in time.
It's just gone. They have to find a fight. The TP is here. Sparta going over the wall, trying to get onto Kiaya. Can't even get onto him. It's already a little bit disastrous that they're turning it around. A lot of damage going out. Levi going low, but Blast Cone's away. The Chem Rift coming in clutch. There's a deny with the Azir wall on the side. Glory trying to get it up, but doesn't quite have the damage. Finally gets the kill, that last tick. Able to get Levi, but one kill and you get Baron. We're taking it.
Wailers needs to do something with this. They have to try to get an inhibitor here on the downtime of Levi. I'm not sure they can. B is too low. Sparta uses flash. No, they're not gonna do anything with this kill. So in the end, still a positive play for GAM. The Baron will not persist till the next dragon spawns. So I'm not entirely sure if GAM themselves can really do much with the Baron. They don't have 5 of the grubs either, so no enhanced Baron push. So this might just be a stalemate for a few more minutes, because Baron in itself, it does give you a lot of combat power as well, but not quite the thing you need to dive turrets.
True. And something we'll see in the replay that I just want to shout out before we do, excuse me, is Wales is trying to turn this game into lots of 2v2, 1v1 skirmishes around the fights. They're trying to use walls and the like to turn it, instead of it being a 5v5, it's like a 2v2 and a 3v3.
Yep.
The GAM is doing an excellent job of denying that, and the person that I think is the real linchpin is actually Blazers. He's been excellent on this Azir. Damage.
That's starting to hurt. Yeah, I'm not sure why we're waiting so long for the replay. I'm really itching to see this one again. Blazers, in general, just with an amazing performance so far on this Azir. Dominating. He turned the game around. He found the opening on Artemis back in the Baron Dragon Pit. He started the turnaround for GAM, and now they are in control of the game. I wouldn't say firm control, because the Jax is a bit too scary for that. But the enemy team needs some more time. They need more gold on Glory. Glory needs to hit shutdown. If Glory could kill Blazers, get the 1000 gold shutdown, and just accelerate to his next item, that could really be the avenue to victory. Because the Jax, he can build only one more item, so he's not going to get that much stronger, but there's still inventory space for 2 items for Glory, so he can still upgrade to a much more threatening Akali late in the game.
Certainly can, but so far his entrances to fights have not been the cleanest.
It's hard. It's really hard into this team composition. He can't walk freely on his Shroud either, because the Rumble is just going to sit there and cook him in the meantime, so he has to act quickly. He can't rely on his cooldowns coming back up. But do you really want to attack this Jax? It looks so scary.
Ooh, a missed Varus ult, but Pyshiro does have to flash.
It's silly from Pyshiro to go this way. Flash blown. That could be an opportunity.
It could be, but Levi seems to think it's GAM's opportunity. Throws out the Sonic Wave. Does land it, but no triggers being pulled. Both teams a little bit skittish.
Using his ultimate there. Of course, he's level 16, so it should be available soon enough. Didn't really get much purchase from that ult use, so yeah, the game is just, it's getting more and more tense, and also just like, little things are going to decide the outcome of this game. I don't think we're going to see just a huge blunder. It's probably just going to be one little step to the side from an ADC that decides the next team fight, one little execution from Glory, hitting or not hitting, deciding on the fate of these two teams in this series.
Oh, Glory's in a lot of trouble.
Now, speaking of Glory, he does a flash and ultimate, yep. That. Done?
Yeah, but now it's down for this fight.
Press E. Sorry. Don't scare me like that. No flash, no ultimate, so probably have to give up this dragon coming up here.
That's Soul.
Yep.
Do they just double down? Just go help Sparta push this wave? Take an inhib for it? Dive the Azir? I think you have to.
Yeah, but really good vision control there from GAM. They are completely aware of what's going to happen. Can't dive the Azir. Azir has a lot of defensive tools. He doesn't have his flash, but the Zhonya should be good enough. So, in the end, very, very nice execution. Cool, calm, and collected for GAM. Get the soul. The soul, a lot of people don't like Chemtech Soul, but it's gonna add a lot of extra stats. Maybe not enough to win the game outright, but it's certainly, fight situations, it could be the thing that decides the team fight. So, yeah, GAM, once again, collecting more and more advantages.
Ooh, a lot of damage in onto B. They will take him down. That's a bad start here for Wales. BJ using that at Xin Zhao ult to keep himself alive, but Karma just bearing down on the base. BJ goes down. Glory jumping in, immediately having to go gold. There's a teleport coming in from Sparta, but Glory's already used the ult. They might just settle for the inhib, but what a misstep.
I don't think they will, Carrix. I don't think they will.
No, I don't think they will at all. I think I was immediately wrong. The zoning from Blazers is fantastic. Glory not lethal without that ult. Sparta just trying to desperately clear the wave, but just can't do it. One tower has fallen. Surely another will follow. Glory goes down. No minions, no problem. GAM open up the base. They open up the nexus. Sparta desperately trying to stand at the gates, but GAM kick it down and remind everyone why they are the emperors as they take the 2-0.
You think Wales are the favorites? No, no, no. It's still GAM. It's always gonna be GAM. GAM, we know they are the protagonists of the VCS, and here they are, starting with a 2-0 performance. Very clean game 1, a little bit more sloppy in game 2. They fell behind, but they showed us once again that they are so lethal in every stage of the game. They can dominate with an early invade, they can dominate with lane phase, and they can also come back from any situation that you put them into. They will always be number 1, it seems. Levi, Kiaya, and friends. And actually, we have to say their names.
I think that's fair. Yeah. That's not fair. Pyshiro and Elio and Blazers.
All of them.
I actually think they were more important.
All of them put in so much work in game number 2. Game number 1 was the old Kiaya show, but game number 2, I mean, it is all the other GAM members stepping up, and yeah, I agree. Vote for Kiaya at whatever thing he's entered into, because Kiaya is just amazing. But yeah, all the other members stepping up as well. I'm especially impressed with Blazers, because I thought, okay, Pyshiro, he's a hyped rookie, right? He could be a really strong component of this team. But Blazers has never really entered the echelon of strong mid laners in VCS. Yes, VCS has a problem with mid laners. We all know that. Froggy being at the internationals, Carty getting outclassed there as well. But Blazers was a step below them even, and Lorry was supposed to be the best mid laner. I mean, Blazers just completely put him in the dumpster. He outperformed Lorry easily today.
Yeah, I think that series, particularly that second game, really didn't go the way we expect, not just in result, but in how it happened. I think Sparta was the more impactful top laner, I think the jungle was maybe a wash. I think BJ and Levi both played about to each other's level, but then it was the bot lane and the mid lane where Wales had these massive, massive outplays and just better decision making. And frankly, if we've read this wrong and GAM actually has a cracked mid and bot, they might not lose a game.
Okay, I mean, I like the hype. Maybe
If we've misread it,
they definitely looked much better than expected. I definitely agree with that. And all of their members putting in work. Actually, Levi may be the quietest member today, which is GAM is just firing on all cylinders. I guess they're so strong every single year, and now maybe we're in for yet another GAM schooling. People try to make better teams, they try to come up with super teams, they try rookies, they try everything, but in the end, Levi and Kiaya will always be the core that dominates this league from start to finish.
Your way, I've got a plan. We need to liquidate all of our assets. We need about $1 million, and we're just going to go to Kiaya and say, take a year off.
We need someone else to win, Kiaya, come on.
Go have a holiday, mate. But with that, that is another night of VCS action coming to an end. Thank you so much for joining us here at VCS English. My name has been Carrick. With me has been Yulway. We will see you soon, I'm sure.